Welcome back to Breakfast Central. Interesting conversation on climate change. I mean, Africa is the least polluter when it comes to climate change, but we're more susceptible to its effects. But it's now for us to look into our first top story of the day. Dangote Petroleum Refinery over the weekend announced a reduction in the price of premium motor spirit, commonly known as Petrol. Some good news, from 950 to 890 naira per litre. According to the refinery's spokesperson, Chiejina, the price slash is a response to the positive outlook in global energy markets and the recent reduction in international crude oil prices.
Now here's what you should know. The new price takes effect immediately. The Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, Petrol, say that the price reduction may not immediately reflect in pump prices, as many marketers still have old stock. This reduction comes just weeks after the refinery had raised prices due to earlier increases in crude oil prices in the global market. The refinery cut petrol prices by 7.5% to 899 naira 50 kobo per litre on December 19, 2024, but raised it to 955 naira per litre on January 17, 2025, citing rising Brent crude prices.
Now, this move is expected to drive down the prices of goods and services, reducing the overall cost of living and having a positive impact on various sectors of the economy. Joining us now is the National Publicity Secretary of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Chinedu Ukadike, to make sense of all of this. But before we join Chinedu Ukadike, we'll go on a quick break, and once we return, we'll get straight into the discussion. Do stay with us.
Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We have Mr. Chinedu Ukadike joining us for the conversation this morning. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. All right, Mr. Ukadike, let's get into the conversation proper. There's been a reduction to 890 naira. I think the first question will be how significant this is, this reduction that we're talking about. Is it worth celebrating, and at what point do we start to see its effect reflected in the price of goods and services across the country?
Well, I can see you smiling. It shows that you also welcome the decrease in price. I think also in this the beauty of deregulation. Whatever are the factors of production will definitely affect the price, ex-pump price of petroleum products. I also want to congratulate Aliko Dangote for religiously adhering to the international price of crude oil. And now that the crude oil is 81 naira per barrel, $81 per barrel, we're also looking at a possible decrease in crude oil because of the energy revolution, because of some also political changes globally. So with what has happened now, Nigerians have hit the relief that they are so loved their fuel that energizes the economy has gone down to 890 naira and will further go down. Last time we had this discussion when this price was reviewed upwards. I know so many Nigerians frowned at it. Even some civil organizations wanted to demonstrate and all the rest of them. But it is not something that is human. It is demand and supply. And as demand and supply in a simple economy, it means price. So now that the crude oil is now 81, we're also looking at further reduction because of this energy revolution. A lot of things are going on. The gas expansion program is ongoing. Electrical cars are coming in and all the rest of them. So I also believe that in any distant time, with the competition, NNPC, Dangote ongoing, and also some few other refineries springing up, definitely we'll get there, definitely.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ukadike. Just the type of good news we expect on a Monday morning. Oliver and I are looking forward to the days of fill up. I've not heard that in the petrol station in a long time, or 10,000 naira to fill your tank. But away from that, given Dangote's call for marketers to pass on the benefits of the reduced price to Nigerians, how is IPMAN ensuring that independent marketers comply with this directive? Because oftentimes we hear that they've not sold the stock they bought at a higher price, But when there's a corresponding increase, they never wait for that stock to finish. They implement immediately. So how do you respond to this?
Well, that is the dynamics of the market. When you have an old stock that has a reduction in price, you will try as much as possible to be able to sell it out. And if possible, you can't sell it out because new stock will jam it. It is not only one particular marketer that owns a filling station. There are so many other marketers that owns it. There are people who are making orders today. And those who are making orders today will definitely sell at a new price. Those who have old stock will try to see how they can be able to manage, bring in new stock, and see how they can be able not to lose a lot. It's people are not talking about when there is price increase, it's about making profit. We're not making profits. We're also trying to see what we can be able to use the little margin that they have added to be able to buy another one. If we sell less on those margin, we cannot be able to buy a new one. These are the products. This is in and out. So long as the product is reduced, you can see some few filling stations are already this morning. Some of them have adjusted because they are still expectant of the new product. They have exhausted their old stock. And when products are high, marketers don't exhaust petroleum product quickly. But when products are low, marketers exhaust because people tend to buy more products and go to several places, without minding the cost of petroleum products. But once products are above 1,000, you find out people don't normally feed their tanks. So what you're asking in effect is that why don't we do an instant reduction once there's price reduction? You have also forgotten that this product will put it at 1,100, 1,150. Who's going to cushion the effect of the losses you're going to make? We are individuals, we are businessmen, we establish our business, to be able to make profits. And if you begin to go up and down like this, most of us will not last in this business. And that is why we are clamoring to see where the federal government can give us a petroleum bank that can be able to recover some of these lapses. If we have a petroleum bank, the petroleum bank will be able to discount, or insurance will be able to discount the losses and find out what you have in your filling station, then supply another one and be able to see how they can be able to take up the risk. There is not only the risk for an independent market. How is it going to? So one of my friends bought almost 5 million liters last week. You are going to get many of them, and now they're decreasing price. It's going to lose billions of naira. Nobody is kept thinking about that. Nobody is thinking about how government can come in to be able to do such a loss. So,
Mr. Ukadike, we hear you.
As independent marketers, we are just trying as much as possible to be able to see how this reduction process will take us. And some other enabling policies that can sustain us in this business.
I will hear you about, the loss that this might cost Petrol or the independent, marketers if at the end of the day they, get to. I was watching an interview and someone said something as little as 6 naira difference would cause a huge change, and it would have huge implications when you're looking at the millions of liters that the independent marketers have. But my colleague raised a very valid point that it's understandable if you say to us now that for a while a number of these people will still have to sell out their old stock based off the old model. But when there is an increase, shouldn't there be some sort of policy that ensures that they still sell that old stock that they have with the old price until they're ready to purchase? Because at the end of the day, that's not fair to the consumer. But we'll come to revisit that. I want you to again speak to us. I believe I had asked this earlier, but I don't know that you spoke to that. When do we expect to see, what timelines are we looking at in terms of timelines when we'll have uniformity with the reduction in the pump price of petrol, as well as when we'll start to see the effect on the price of goods and services? Or is it too little for us to see an effect in the prices of goods and services?
Well, we see in Nigeria, it's not only in petroleum products. In Nigeria, once things goes up, once it's in the hands of individuals, it becomes also difficult for it to come down. You understand? Except that it's a drastic reduction. And this reduction is not drastic, it's minimal. With time, it will start, reflect. You can also see that the dollar, Nigerian naira, is also gaining strength. And once it's also this also will affect the cost of goods and services in the market. It is not only oil. You know, when we talk about oil, yes, oil drives almost 40 to 45% of goods and services in the country because of its reflective impact in transportation. But it's dollar. Dollar is more reflective because if the dollar goes down, you find that goods and services will go down drastically because 70% of motors in this country are all imported. And once they are imported and the dollar is high, you must get it on the high price, no matter what is how much they sell petroleum products. So these two things must have to come together to be able to, you know, for consumers and the people of Nigeria to feel the impact of reduction in prices. So they must be able to comprehend. So and with time, things are coming getting better, you know, gradually. With what Dangote is doing now, and with other what NNPC and all the rest of them are doing, the competition in the oil and gas industry, it will definitely get to the telecom industry that we are seeing today. What has happened in the old Nitel and the initial people that started selling SIM cards in Nigeria, how they are selling 50,000. But then our center is free. Very soon, fuel and other commodities will be made very, 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 very available. I'm not speaking for the government, but I also believe that government has a hand in this by ensuring that their policies are being kept and the reduction of our transactions on all the cities and ensure that also crude oil is being given to these refineries to continue production. Because once Dangote is not giving crude oil and it sources from the international market, definitely there is a change. There will be a change in plan. And you now have seen the beauty of the regulation that now Dangote is not cutting the short. Once Dangote changes price, NNPC will change and all the rest of them. The issue of NNPC now, being the only source of petroleum products in Nigeria, that issue is solved. Now we have dual sources of petroleum products. Wherever it is cheaper, like now, Dangote is cheaper. Wherever it is cheaper, we need independent marketers to continue to buy and service our customers because the true reflect of whether pump price have changed in the X pump, price. Whenever people go to the filling station and see that the pump prices have changed, that will want to shout hallelujah. But now that we're talking on the media, and they have gone to the pump and told us they're selling 980 naira, 1,000 naira, 970. They will not feel the impact. But once this thing goes down, we shall say 920, 910, the competition will everybody don't want to be in this business. Nobody wants to be subchanged. So the era of scarcity, which we have conquered, the era of non-supply of petroleum products, we have conquered that one. We are no longer talking about scarcity. That is full everywhere. But our problems now is prices and modalities of taking these petroleum products to our destination. One particular thing you will also have to take into consideration is the mode of transportation of this petroleum product. Dangote is in Lagos. And there's no way people must travel to Lagos to then get this product. Or people must use vessels to take it to the waterways of Nigeria, where we have private depots to deliver this product. So we also look at all those transportation processes and there was a elaborated pipeline and see how the minister and those that are involved can be able to make sure that the transportation of these petroleum products will be more easier for us so that we will get more reduction in pump price.
Now, Mr. Ukadike, just before we begin to wind down on this conversation, with the revival of the Port Harcourt and Warri refineries, we're expecting a further decrease in the price of petrol products. How do you see this affecting the pricing dynamics in a way that Nigerians can plan ahead and it's more stable, or we're always going to respond to global Brent crude oil prices? Where would business owners won't be able to plan ahead and know, okay, this is what we budget for energy?
The federal government and subsidiaries, the NNPCL, that's the minister and the CEO of NNPC, military, they are on top of this matter to ensure that the refinery they have started already in their own regime, which is very, very landmark, We independent marketers, we welcome it, we applaud them, we share with them. We're also happy that at least there is a competition ongoing between NNPCL and Dangote. It has caused a price war. And the CEO of NNPCL continued to reassure us that these refineries have started, they will make sure that it will upgraded and they will manufacture in its, they will produce in its optimal condition. And for now, the refineries they're producing, yes, they are refining petroleum products, but it's up to now, it's not what we have anticipated. They are loading in the refinery, they are loading automatic gasoline oil. Now they have not started dispensing PMS, which is PMS, the most common commodity everybody is more interested in. In as much as this will also have impact in the site in terms of haulage transportation. So, like what you just asked now, if actually the PMS of NNPCL goes into the market, and now Dangote has reduced 890, and maybe NNPCL will announce a price regime of maybe 880 or 870. Now, that is the beauty of the regulation. Marketers for now know whether to take from NNPC or to take from the Dangote. But for now, as I'm still talking to you, to the goodness of my knowledge, we have now started loading PMS from Petrol. In as much as we have started loading HU, we have this online in Petrol. Marketers are buying this. The engineering process of re-establishing or revitalization of an old refinery to produce, I don't know for how long it will take for that refinery to start producing PMS. But as I can confirm to you now that the Petrol refinery, our marketers are loading diesel, automated gasoline oil now, and they loaded yesterday, they keep on loading it since when they started that refinery. And also in Warwick, December, I cannot confirm to you right now that we have started loading PMS,
All right. I think my final question, as quickly as you can answer this, would be, you and I mean, we've had you on the show discuss Dangote's travails to get to where he is here. He's been through a lot. The Dangote brand has been through a lot, but they are still standing. And as a matter of fact, have been able to impact our fuel space, fuel sales, right? Are we looking at this as the power of the private sector to be able to shape the pricing of fuel in Nigeria? Is that something that we should explore, especially regarding the other refineries outside Lagos, for example?
It is a welcome. I want to tell you that the coming of Dangote is one of the greatest scenarios of our country. Let us be very frank. I'm not here to advertise Dangote. No. I can't do that. But as a practical independent marketer who has been on the field and who has been in this oil and gas business for years, what Dangote has brought to the table in terms of distribution of petroleum products, I'm so grateful in my lifetime. Before it was only NNPC. So if NNPC doesn't give us petroleum products, we'll wait. And the queues in their own filling station will be as long as from Jericho to Lebanon. So it is this Dangote now that have been mystified the NNPC. The NNPC, so-called NNPC and their brand, most filling station owners are now taking out their brand from NNPC, and they are now standing on their own and rebranding their stations. I'm even partnering with another independent marketing company called MRS.
I mean, it's quite interesting, really, to see how all of this is played out, especially the filling station you mentioned. If you go on social media, you see a number of people who have been speaking to the quality of Dangote Petrol and the possibility of it lasting even more than the others. But that's a conversation for another day. Mr. Ukadike, thank you for joining us this morning on Breakfast Central.